All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. What a exciting preseason game! To be honest, I was tweeting all along in social media and Twitter that I want to see this particular lineup week in, week out. Hudson-Odoi on the left side, left wing back, Pulisic on the right. Everyone's playing Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, the lot. I mean, even if we get someone like Haaland, just stick him into defense as well. Maybe he can, ball out from that position. It was incredible end to end. I mean, probably we should have. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Joe Willock's shot was a goal, so probably should have been 2-2. But at the end of the day as well, we probably deserved to score 6. Tammy himself probably deserved to score a hat-trick first, and then also Hakim Ziyech. I don't know what he was thinking. He really should have slotted that in. So overall, I'd say we deserve to win. But at the end of the day, it was a solid workout for a preseason game, and we're going to get into it a lot. There's a lot of you guys already live. Smash the like button and just get it out of the roof straight away. We've got over 25 people already, nearly 30. Smash the like button to over 30. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. I'll do a quick shout out to you guys very soon before I, introduce the boys to you guys. Ryan, my boy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I enjoyed seeing the boys back. You know what I mean? I feel happy to see that they're going with 100% intensity despite it being their first match back and only training for like 5 to 7 days. So yeah, positive signs so far.
100, man, 100. That was electric, that particular game. Ishan, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Actually, I was out for a couple of for a few minutes outside. I had some work and I was, in my phone watching the game, and then I was doing my work simultaneously. So, football freak, football minds. It was a great game to see. You cannot take your eyes off the game. By any single minute. It was a crunch game.
Nah, absolutely, man. We got Sudarshan saying here, Miz, you're not sleepy tomorrow. You got work. You know what, my man? I've actually got a day off tomorrow, so that's why I'm up. And look, regardless, even if I didn't have a day off, I've always done this, so it doesn't really even matter. And work or no work, when Chelsea game's on, I gotta watch it. And the next day, yep, it's a bit of a write-off, but so be it. As long as my manager's not watching this, it should be all right. Let's get straight into this. No, actually, you know what? I want to give a shout out to the live chat, man. Honestly, these guys are absolute ballers. They're the real ballers. Smash the like button, guys. I want to give you guys a shout out. We've got Declan in Ireland. We've got Usamane here as well. We've got Wavy Nash, Marcus Trashford, my man. He's here all the time. So, Dustin, thank you so much for being here. Declared, man, we are doing it tough. 2:08 a.m., man. Straight after this, Declared, go to bed. I'm going to go to bed as well. Roby, thank you so much, my man, for being here. And we've got Joey as well. We've got Vishnu, Frederick, Ben Akel, Marks. Can I join your channel, please? Look, probably not this particular show. I will have a fans show either tomorrow or day after. You're more than welcome to join in and call in for those ones. Not a problem at all with me. Brent Smith, thank you so much for being here. Chelsea Madness, Timo, Jules is here. Bias for a reason, man. We've got a full house. We've got nearly 50 people, guys. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. I can't stress enough how much the likes help the channel out. It's just going to expose to more people out there. Okay, let's get straight into this particular match. We'll get some initial thoughts out of the way first before we look at the lineup and some player performances to dig deep into, and then some tactical sort of stuff that I've noticed that I want to share as well. I'm pretty sure Ryan's got some things to say. Ishan, I'll go to you first up. I mean, just your initial thoughts about this particular match. 2-1 victory. I felt like it was a decent sort of run. I thought for a preseason that was quite intense. Like the boys really ran. What do you think about that particular match?
Yeah, I couldn't believe for some time that it was a preseason friendly, man. It was highly intensified, and I was, like I said, man, I was out for some work for some time, and I just could not get my eyes off my phone and of that match, because the gameplay, it was so exciting to see the transition, counter transition, attack, counter attack. Just the players were moving around like madness. I mean, yes, it was a good game, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, the lineup we can, we'll be debating about that, but then yes, I mean, it is a very good game for a friendly, and it's a good start to a season. But then yes, there are positive sides and negative sides as well. We'll be talking about that as the show progresses.
Brilliant, brilliant. Ryan, from your perspective, what do you think? You've already mentioned that was a bit crazy for a preseason, but what's your overall thoughts on this particular match?
For some players, you look at it as a potential to see what could happen in the season, and then for some other players, you can see they're just stuck in there to get some minutes. Like for Kovacic, he was playing a lone DM role, and that's not his role, so he didn't get to flourish today. Whereas some players like Ziyech got a little insight into a deeper role where you can play. And like with Pulisic, you can't really take too much away from Ed because he was a wing back. And for some players, you could take away some good points, but for some, you just need to let them get fit.
Yeah, no, that's exactly well absolutely said. To be honest, you can't make too much out of these preseason. At the end of the day, it is there for fitness purpose, and I think some of the boys look very, very fit for their. I believe this was their third proper game. Obviously, they had that first one against Peterborough. Then there was an in-house game, and then the Bournemouth and this one. So the in-house, I wouldn't call it a proper one, but yeah, this is the third one, and some of the boys are starting to look very, very sharp. And we still got Spurs to play, and then obviously the big Super Cup game. Right, let's talk about this lineup, man. I swear I chuckled a bit when I saw this lineup. I was like, every time Ishan and I would talk on this channel, and every time Chelsea fans would talk as well, and also in the live chat, I've seen it many a times that how are we going to fit all of these forward players, man? How are we going to fit all of these attackers? No way in this formation we can do this. And I used to say the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, this formation, some of the forward players, attacking players will get hurt. And then in comes Thomas Tuchel, just shut everyone down, and he's just plugged in Pulisic in right wing back, Callum Hudson-Odoi in left wing back. We've got Ziyech. Yeah, he was playing somewhat in midfield, but then again, that's another attacking player. And then you've got your Havertz and Werner up top. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is another very, very. He put in a very good shift. I've got a lot of praise for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and we will say that. Overall, this lineup for you, Ryan, I said it in my tweet. I would love to see this week to week because that was end-to-end football, man. That was crazy.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it was. I tuned in mostly for the first half, to be honest. When I saw the substitutions, I didn't watch the second half, so sorry for that. Apparently, it was good. But when I think about it, the way it was end-to-end, it was really fun to watch if it didn't have any meaning to the game, which it didn't. I think that it just makes me want a back four, man, to see this a little bit more. Because, I mean, I don't want to get in too deep there, but it looked like we played a 3-5-2 with a midfield three. It looked like...
it looked like this. I had it ready. It kind of looked like that.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, continue, bro.
Yeah, so it looked like a 3-5-2. And from time to time, it got midfield pivot with Ziyech getting a little higher up, but then he would drop in to do the 3-5-2 with Kova as the CDM, and then RLC and Ziyech could have been like two number 8s, which I really like to see. But it makes me think, like, why not do when Mount is back, why not do a 4-3-1-2? You know what I mean? Or a 4-4-2 diamond is the same thing. 4-4-2 diamond or 4-3-1-2, because I mean, you're seeing positive signs there. And if you could put in Kante and Jorginho into that and use a back four, you could probably get a lot out of this team and a lot out of all these players.
Yeah, look, man, you're right. It wasn't the normal sort of 3-4-2-1 that we've been seeing. It was definitely similar to this. Ziyech sort of more deeper. And you're right. It kind of gives you an indication that it's not too far away from us to use a back four as opposed to a back three. We do need those personnels back. We do need the right sort of defenders back to play that. But I was very impressed with our first half defending from Rudy, Chalobah, and Zuma, obviously with the wing backs, they're not your natural wing backs, and that's why there was so much space at the back. But we will get into the tactical side of things very, very soon. Ryan, it's up to you if you want to set up like a tactical board page on the side. That way you can sort of control it as opposed to me controlling it. Ishan, I'll go to you now, man. What were your thoughts when you saw this particular lineup?
I was scratching my head initially. I was like, is this some kind of mistake? Because I can see Rudiger and I can see all the attacking mindset players. And I was like, what's wrong here? I mean, there has to be, the Chelsea admin has to, get something wrong.
Made a mistake again.
It has to be a mistake because I've not seen anything in my life like that. Only 3 proper centre backs and all of them attacking mindset players. So it was quite surprising. But then, one thing was clear that we were always going to a back 3, right? So that, shaped a little bit of formation in my mind before I could see the actual formation in the screen. That yes, Hudson-Odoi would be playing in one of the wing backs, and so will Pulisic. But yes, like you said, I would like to see this lineup every game of the week if defensively we're up to it. But then yes, again the question arises that I think so. Off the ball, talking about the performances off the ball, we were very good. Off the ball, we were very rigid and very sturdy. But then on the ball, again, I think so. On one hand, our Chelsea attack has made Kolasinac look good, and I was like surprised, man. I mean, he's out of his prime way back, and there has to be more clinicality up front. But then yes, this formation, like we used to always talk about this in your channel, is that the sacrifice is coming. The attackers has to be sacrificed. And Thomas Tuchel just slapped in our face and
just
look at
play
this.
Everyone. Go out there and play everyone.
I can do that. But then yeah, it was an exciting thing to see. The moment I saw that lineup and the formation, I knew that it was going to be an end-to-end attacking match. It was going to be high intensified. The boys are not going to stop like that. And moreover, it's a known fact that you'd be playing maximum for a 45 minutes mark or maximum to a 60-minute mark, or else you're going to get eventually substituted, right? Because everybody's getting a chance, and eventually everybody did get substituted. So it was known. So the intensity was to be expected. That listen, if you're playing for a 45-minute mark, you need to give your 100% there, and the boys did well. The boys ran well. Yes, there were chances, and we'll be talking about that later on. But then yes, looking at that lineup, I was really happy. But I'm not sure if Thomas Tuchel is going to do that in the future. I don't think so. He would be benching the likes of Reece James and Ben Chilwell and play Hudson-Odoi and a Pulisic in the wing back.
Too open.
No. Oh my God, no. People in Twitter especially are going to be crazy. They're going to be mad. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So absolutely.
Absolutely, man. I can see the live chat absolutely buzzing with throwing just many other players that they believe that played well. We're definitely going to talk about player performances. Guys, let's get those likes up to over 70. We've still got over 70 people. Let's get those likes up right away. As I said, helps the channel out a lot, exposes to far more fans out there. And if you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. We are now on the way to 7,000 subscribers, which is brilliant. All right, let's talk about the goals, and then we'll get into the player analysis and the whole tactical side of things. The first goal, really, really nice work from, I believe initially, I think Ziyech wins the ball, and somehow he manages to pass it to Kovacic, and Kovacic puts in a really nice ball to Timo Werner, and from there, the pace of Timo Werner. I thought I had this feel that, oh my God, maybe Timo's going to screw this up. I was getting so worried because I felt like he held on to the ball a bit too long, but eventually the pass did come, and my days, Kai Havertz. I'm just going to bring this up because I want to sort of replay the whole situation to you guys. It was something like this, more or less, where we were in our defensive phase, and Ziyech got the ball from this particular situation and laid it off to Kovacic, which was really smart. And then Kova, nice. I think it was a nice dink pass to Verna, and then Verna really drove into this particular area. And luckily enough, he found the pass, diagonal pass to Kai Havertz, and that finish from Kai Havertz with his wrong foot just sizzling into the net. Fantastic goal. I'll go to you, Ryan, first up. I mean, wow, that was some emphatic finish from Kai Havertz, who literally has been on holiday. He's just come back, relaxing. To be honest, I don't really think he was totally in the game in that particular match. But then again, it is his first game. But when he was required, he has absolutely smashed that in, no trouble at all. What do you think about that finish and the build-up to that particular goal?
I think this is a classic Chelsea goal under Tuchel. I mean, defending on a low block and then hit them on the counter attack. I think we have built that chemistry last season and we've continued with it this time. I'm glad to see that Verna. I thought that he was good today. You know, I think that he's getting better at his like 1-2 touches, you know, linking up play a little bit better. And he found the assist once again. So it's great that he's impacting the game in that way. Kai is always at the right place at the right time, it seems, and a beautiful finish from him. I think that it goes to show that these players, you know, they have something from last season that they could build upon. And that's why I'm looking forward to see what is the next step, because we've seen this step already, and now we could think about what is the next step, because we have so much promise and talent right now.
No, 100%, man. I mean, Ishan, I have to admit with Ryan, what he's saying, that the promise shown in this particular team is immense. I mean, this is that first half team. There was a lot of players that just came back from their holidays. Your Rudiger, your Zuma, your Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Kovacic. It's their first game, but the way we were playing, you know, the chemistry was coming back. It felt like the team was, you know, they played a lot, you know, for a while, obviously in the last season under Thomas Tuchel, and they just came in and it just looked very seamless. As I said, we will talk about the player performances, but Timo Werner, he racks up another assist once again, a nice little pass to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, fantastic finish. What do you think about that overall goal, man?
Miss, you would remember that the same way Kai scored today was the same way Kai missed against Arsenal the last time that we played against Arsenal.
Yes.
It was that, and that's the first thing came to my mind.
Similar sort of situation as well.
Similar sort of situation, 1v1 against the keeper, and you know, he just, you know, last time he blasted off the top row, you know, blasted off the roof, but this time, you know, it was very good on target, and you know, that gave me that vibe. You know, Arsenal versus Chelsea vibes the last time, but then this time he was pretty much clinical. It was a good Chelsea goal. It was a very, very good Chelsea goal. Timo Werner did what Timo Werner does. You know, the previous season.
Yet another assist
again. Yeah, and that's exactly how he makes his mark on the team. Like we've always said, that you know, he knows his way to, you know, bring his 100% to the team, and whatever he does, he'll just make a mark on this team, and he'll just have his imprints on that. Listen, I had an impact. You know, I might not be scoring at that level, but then I have an impact. And without the abilities of Timo Werner, I don't think so. The run that he made, Timo Werner, to, you know, actually make that assist, I don't think so many of the other Chelsea players could have done. It's the express pace and acceleration in Timo Werner that you know, enabled him to run through all the defenders and then make that beautiful pass. So yeah, big up to Timo Werner and also Kai Havertz for a beautiful finish. I hope he keeps this momentum going, Kai Havertz. It's very, very important for Chelsea and also for Kai Havertz to keep this momentum going. You know, if this guy keeps scoring, it would be a pleasure to watch this guy the whole season. And you know, he'll be one of the most important guys for us for the next season also. So yeah, definitely. You know, the other players as well, just like you said, they're showing a lot of promising, and that's what I believe. You know, Miss, I've talked about this just in the previous show as well, that I believe that if a good manager can turn a bad player to good, then that is absolutely possible, and we should believe that. You know, we should not hesitate, even if someone like a Baba Rahman comes in and becomes, you know, a very, very good player, starts, you know, banging in assists and, you know, some volleys.
Zappacosta was looking all right. I was very surprised. Zappacosta was looking all right.
And just look at the transition, the change in the, you know, intensity of Ruben Loftus-Cheek from the last game to this game. It was completely different, you know, and I could see that. You might call it the change in position, or maybe the change in mindset, or maybe even if the opposition, there might be another sense of responsibility when you're playing a bigger opposition. But whatever it is, Ruben Loftus-Cheek played more maturely today rather than the previous game, and yeah, definitely, big up to Thomas Tuchel, the way he's making the boys play.
Yeah, man. Look, as I said, we're going to talk about the player performance. I've got a lot to say about Ruben, because I think Ruben deserves a squad position in this squad from what I just saw in this particular match. He seems like, Thomas Tuchel could use that particular profile. That was really good what I saw today. But yeah, going back to the whole Timo Werner, I mean, once again, as I said, we will talk in details about that. But that pace is so important, Ishan, as you said. His pace, really, it's an artillery for us. It's a weapon for us. It's just I wish he sort of used it in his own sort of benefit to score goals. I know he's providing goals, which is good, fantastic. I'm all happy about that. But I just wish that he scored a lot more goals with that pace. But as I said, we will talk more about that. Right, let's talk now about the equaliser. Arsenal equalised from the corner. It was a header from Xhaka. There was a lot of people that were going on the back of Kepa, and I knew it. I tweeted straight away that I don't want to see any Kepa-related slander off the back of that goal. I mean, literally, look, kudos to Mendy. He had a tremendous game, of course, and it's difficult for a keeper to come in, it was the 6th, maybe 55th minute or something like that. It wasn't straight from halftime. I don't believe it was straight from halftime. I think it was... from the 50th minute or 55th minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, live chat. Let me know when Kepa came out. But Ryan, I really thought that defensively, obviously it's a different set of players that came in, so I'm not blaming anyone, but I saw a few people starting to blame Kepa, and I can already see it on the live chat that a few people are blaming Kepa. I personally thought, I mean, you can't really, at the end of the day, the defenders need to sort that out. But as I said, I'm not going to blame a new set of players coming
64th minute, miss. It was 64th minute.
There you go, 64th minute. So it's very harsh on people to get, a bit, I suppose, having a go at Kepa. What do you think about that particular equaliser, Ryan?
No, I'll have to let Ishan take this because, as I said, I didn't watch the second half.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah. Ishan, what do you think about that particular equaliser, man?
First of all, why is it always Granit Xhaka, man? I'm tired of this guy, man.
He must love Chelsea, man. He must love it.
He needs to leave Arsenal, I'll be very straight. He needs to leave Arsenal because he's scoring against us. But then, yeah, I mean, I cannot say Arsenal played bad. I mean, they had their decent game and decent part, Biasness aside, they also had many good runs, good, counter transition gameplay. Also, Aubameyang played really well in my point of view. He was going into positions where
he was fast, man. He was fast.
Yeah, he was very clinical, and I mean, not just in terms of finishing, but then his runs and his movement was really quick and crisp. If this is the way Aubameyang plays in the coming season, I think so. People might need to watch out for him because he's been faded away the last season. But then, if this is the way he brings up his pace again, brings up the intensity in his runs again, people might have to watch out for Aubameyang. But then, yes, the goal, I think so. It was a good goal. It is very harsh to blame on Kepa. I don't think so. He could have done that much. Yes, if you want to blame, you can blame the defensive centre backs. All the three centre backs, they could have had a more marking on all the players. The Arsenal guys in the box. But then, yes, I don't think so. Kepa could have done that much. And also there were many chances where Arsenal could have scored. But then kudos to our centre back that
and Kepa made some nice saves at the end as well. Like he made some nice saves right at the end.
I mean, listen, it's understandable that Kepa is not our first choice keeper right now, and it is Edouard Mendy, and it's very rightly so. But then the thing is, we should stop slandering Kepa at every chance that we get.
Every chance, people just wants to have a go. People were saying that why didn't he dive? Like, he literally just got, I mean...
It's very difficult, when it comes to a corner and when it comes to those tap-ins, it's very difficult to react. We all know it's very difficult for any keeper to react that quickly. Yes, there is always an argument that he could have dived, he could have gone to a better position, he could have guided the defenders to make a good marking on the opposition. But then yes, it's always difficult for a keeper to get those tap-ins, those headers from the corners coming, and these are fast and not very difficult to. Yes, if Kepa makes a mistake, and he did many times in the previous seasons, and he accepted that, and we all know that he's accountable for his mistakes. But then if it's a legend Arsenal goal or a legend opposition goal, you should in fact give credit to your opposition instead of slandering our own players, because it's more of their creation rather than our mistake, right? So if it's a legend Kepa mistake, I would have been the first one to come up from it and say, listen, it was a Kepa mistake, but it's not a Kepa mistake. Let's get out of that bubble. So, but then yes, overall a decent game, for both Chelsea and Arsenal's perspective as well. Even Arsenal were, very crisp with their attacking. It made me nervous many times, especially in the later 80th minute when, Aubameyang had that chance where he could have curved in a little bit more, but, it went just out of the post. So, yeah, even Arsenal had a fair game. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how even Arsenal develops in this next season.
No, 100%, man. Obviously, straight after that, really good pressing from Chelsea up front. I've got to say, I'm being really impressed. The way we pressed and counter-pressed, we boxed them in their half a lot of the time, man. And our build-up at times looked very good as well. We didn't look too phased out by their pressing. Maybe one or two times we looked a bit iffy. But overall, our pressing, counter-pressing, the build-up was very good. And then, obviously, we got that second goal. Correct me if I'm wrong, live chat. Who was it that won the ball? I think it was a Michy Batshuayi that ended up winning the ball. And then I think laid it off to Tammy Abraham. And then Tammy Abraham put that ball in, and then we ended up getting, that was the winner. But from there on, there was many other opportunities, which we will talk about now, about the whole match. Ryan, since you've watched the first half, let's talk about some of the players that you saw in the first half, and we'll start things from there. We've taken care of the goals, but we can get back to the goals again one more time later on. Let's start with the whole Kai Havertz scenario, Ryan. I feel we need a striker, and we've talked about this. We definitely need a striker, in my opinion. Even in this match, we should have scored 6, to be honest. Tammy himself should have scored a hat-trick in the second half, which you didn't get to watch. But I know Kai Havertz scored that goal. I still want a striker, because for us, that will just elevate us to be in the title contendership mix and possibly even win the Premier League. But if for some crazy sort of situation, and for argument's sake, if this doesn't happen, Ryan, I don't mind what I saw today with that combination of Kai and Timo up front, because as much as Timo frustrates me, and once again we'll talk about Timo, but Kai and Timo, the combination is not that bad, and seems like Kai getting that goal in the Champions League sort of given him that extra bit of belief, that boost, because he had a really good Euros as well. Are you in the same sort of feel that you wouldn't mind seeing Kai up front and then at times be playing that striker role?
Well, I would say I watch a lot of football over the past few months, a lot of teams, and I do like the idea of a false 9. I have no problem with the idea of a tactic of a false 9. But the whole reason of a false 9 is when the number 9 vacates that space, you need people to attack that space. Already, we know that all midfielders do not attack and go in behind, as other teams like Man City would have Gundogan and De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva getting in behind if they have a false 9. That way, we need to count on our wingers to get in behind and score goals. Thing is, if we have Kai as a false 9, I wouldn't mind if we had wingers inside forwards who would score 20 to 30 goals a season. Then Kai could score 20 plus goals a season too, much like what Firmino, Salah, and Mane does. But unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have wingers who could score that type of numbers right now. And so the problem is not the tactic of a false 9, is the personnel we have around them. So that when I think about it, I would much rather have Havertz as a second striker with a in and out striker who can score 25 to 30 goals a season.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much formations that could happen. We could fit anybody who we want to fit in. But at the end of the day, I think we still need a striker who can put those chances away. Secondly, I think that, you know, I have no problem with Kai playing at false nine, but all it takes is one injury, and then our season is back to chasing top four. I hope we make Champions League football. So we need a striker, and yeah, so that's what I think about it. What you all think?
Yeah, man, no, you're absolutely right, man. As I said, we definitely need a striker. As much as Kai can do a job, but what you just said, we're just literally an injury away, and then that's it. We are kind of screwed to, you know, make sure everything falls into place, man. And we don't want to get into that situation. If I really liked your, you know, point about having an out-and-out striker, let's say Erling Haaland, you know, he's the name that's been touted around, and then a Kai Havertz just behind. I think both in tandem would be so brilliant. This comment here from Ralph Lauren, really like this. Kai has been good since Tuchel came in, since that Everton game last season. Absolutely right, when he started playing that false nine. Don't forget how he was haunting Courtois. He almost chipped him twice, one leading to Timo's goal against Real Madrid as well. Absolutely right, man. Bang on from Ralph Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got over 157 people live, and we've got close to 50 likes. Let's get the likes up to over 100 straight away, guys. If you're enjoying this review, and if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Check out my panelists. Their socials are literally in the description right now. Go follow them. Their link is there. You don't even need to, you know, copy or paste anything. Just click on the link. It will take them to their page. Top 4 Tactics, which is Ryan. He's doing madness on a day-to-day basis in football Twitter. Go and follow him right away and support his threads. Honestly, you're going to love the tactical analysis there. And Ishan as well. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. It's all there in the description. So get that done. And let's get those likes up to 100 straight away. Okay. Ishan, let's now talk about Timo Werner. We've talked about Kai Havertz. We've talked about his goal. A decent run out for his first 45 minutes. I don't think he had an overly great game, but, you know, he scored that goal, which is fantastic. Good start, good, you know, confidence builder. Let's talk about Timo Werner. Man, for me, look, I don't want to be overly critical. Obviously, it's the first game back. He's had a bit of a break since the Euros, and he really didn't have the greatest Euros. But I feel like I'm seeing the same things again. A couple of times, one time that after we scored the goal, it was a brilliant ball straight through from the middle from Ziyech. I'm just going to bring this up while I talk this through. There was a particular opportunity where I think Ziyech got the pass once again deep from this particular situation, and Ziyech first time passed it and released Werner, and Werner was through. He was literally through, and he was trying to cut in these sort of areas. And this is where I need him to be so much more clinical. This is where I feel like either use your left foot and drill it low and across, or toe poke it with your right and try and see if you can get the roof of the net. But he consistently gets the side netting, man. He consistently gets the side netting. And, you know, once again, you know, a ball from Ziyech, and it wasn't just Ziyech. There were other few players that released him as well, and he missed a couple of the opportunities. And I feel like, okay, fine, you're not going to convert every single one of them. I get that. But even if you convert the 1 or the 2 out of 4 chances or 5 chances, it's going to mean so much to not just himself, but the rest of the team to get the assist as well. But as I said, don't want to be overly critical. But I hope he can start putting some of these chances away. I know it's pre-season, but I want him to start putting some of these chances away. What do you think about his particular match? Yeah, go on, man. Go on, right?
Like, even though, you know, we talk about missing chances, right? So it's one thing to make the correct decision and miss a chance. You know, you don't get good connection, this and that. But what worries me about Timo is that he constantly makes wrong decisions in front of the goal. It's not only bad connection. It's like when he's supposed to cut in and shoot, he would shoot from an impossible angle. When he's central and he could shoot, and he would cut into an impossible angle to shoot. And he constantly did that last season. And again today, he showed like he was at an angle. He could have side-footed into the net. Yeah. He chose to toe poke it for some weird reason near post to poke it. I mean, that's difficult to do for a person in form, far less for someone out of form.
Yeah.
It's constant. And the thing is, it's not like it's in a crowded box where you have to think in 1 second. He has all the time in the world while running towards goal.
Exactly.
So think about it. And when you hear strikers like Michael Owen and their punditry about their thoughts as they run up towards goal and about angles and how they hit it and stuff, it's a science. It's an art. And I think that Timo doesn't have that. And the thing is, he always said that before he used to hit shots and he used to go in. Now he hits them and it's not going in. But it's more than that. You know what I mean?
I have to agree with you, Ryan. You're bang on, my man. Like his decision making. Look, as I said, man, the caveat, yes, it's the first game and I want to be easy. It's the preseason. I want to see if he can get this particular trait better. But Ishan, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is gonna get better. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, Ryan is absolutely spot on. Just adding to what Ryan said, there has to be some technicalities. That is actually an issue with Timo Werner. Whenever you see Timo Werner with the ball, like Ryan said, he has that express pace to just get away from all the backline defense and then be in a position where he has the actual time to make decisions and actually capitalize on the advantage of time that he has. But the thing is, whenever you see Timo Werner with the ball, he is always focused on the ball. He's not aware of the defenders that he has around him or aware of the defenders who's approaching him. I've heard that multiple times from even the commentators itself. And when the commentators are spotting that and saying to you, then that means it is a repetitive thing that the player is doing. And this has been spotted since Timo Werner came in Chelsea. Now, I don't know if that's the same thing Timo Werner did back in Leipzig, because he has been banging in 30-35 goals for fun back there for a season. But coming here to Chelsea, it's very much evident. You look at the many occasions where he's missed last season. You could always see Timo Werner being focused on the ball and being very confused with his mind that where should he go, where should he not go, and he's not being aware of the fact that who are the players that he's surrounded with, at which pace is the player or the opposition defender approaching him so that he should be making a decision. And that's exactly where he gets stuck. How many times do we see Timo Werner get stuck in the wings, in the flanks, and then he's been struggling to make decisions there multiple times. And that is the reason why, because he's not been aware of the players, he's not been looking at his shoulder. And it's very important to look at your shoulder and be aware of the players around you so that you can make a better decision. He's not been doing that, and that's been evident for the whole past season. And this is something which a manager cannot, I am sorry, but Thomas Tuchel cannot do anything about that. It's the player's technical abilities, and if he does not possess that, a manager cannot do anything. It doesn't matter how much patient a manager is. In a high intensified team like in a league like Premier League and a big responsibility that you have being a striker for Chelsea Football Club, you need to have that instinct, that striker instinct. You need to make those good decisions that Ryan just talked about. It's very lethal for a striker to be that so highly. He has to rely on his instinct more than what he needs to rely on his all the the things that he did in the past. The
like skills, I suppose, like the skill set, like that it shouldn't just be
so important. And also comparing the Premier League to Bundesliga, yes, the intensity is a lot of there is a difference, right? So maybe there he had some more time to think, and maybe there was guys who could actually support his gameplay. But here the things are different and the surroundings are different, and also the formation demands a lot of different things from Timo Werner, and that's exactly maybe why he's not being able to deliver at the rate he should be delivering. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, go on.
I really want to build on what you said, because you mentioned Havertz. I think at the beginning of last season, or that first 3 or 4 months, they were adapting to the pace and physicality of the league, together with not a good preseason and COVID and everything. And I think that both players adapted to the physicality. If you see them, they adapt to the pace of the game. They adapt to how defenders work in the Premier League. And even when Havertz was struggling, his technique was always there. It was
Yeah.
things like his strength and his power and stuff like
Bang
that
on.
that let him
Bang
down.
on again,
His
Ryan. Bang
technique
on.
was there. The thing is with Havertz, with Werner, is that he's adapted to this league and he's adapted to the pace of this game. But his technique is not there, and it hasn't been there since he arrived in this club. And that's what concerns me. And then what you said
fact,
too.
Werner has played more than Havertz, right?
Yeah.
A lot more. A lot more.
And what you said too with his role in the game as a second striker or being a striking duo who roams, you have much more to do if we're going to break down low blocks. Yes, he's doing okay running in behind against low lines, but when those teams like Burnley and those guys set up in low blocks, we need our inside forwards or second striker to have multiple skill sets to create chances, not only to run in behind and cut back or hit low crosses. We need players who can work as a unit together to make coherent, cohesive, fluid football.
Yeah, no, absolutely bang on, both of you guys. That's where it's been the biggest issue for me. That Timo's got the pace. Yeah, he keeps getting the assist, but the technical side of things, the way he controls the ball or the lack of it, and the way he moves with the ball, it shouldn't just be just pace and just run straight. You got to be able to glide with the ball. You got to be able to, as you said, Ryan, you got to know when to cut in and still be able to have he just doesn't have that, very low center of gravity with the ball. The ball seems to be sort of pinballing away from him all the time from his leg. But let's see what happens, man. As I said,
Miss, one question regarding Timo Werner. I really, sometimes question his sense of responsibility being a striker. I don't think so. He has that sense of responsibility in him because, if he had the responsibility in him, he definitely would have relied on his instincts. And like Thomas Tuchel said, he knows how to score goals. It's not that he does not know. He's been scoring goals a lot, right? But the thing is, I'm not sure about the sense of responsibility that he has being a Chelsea striker. And I'm not sure if he's relying too much on player, or is it the case that he never had the sense of responsibility in him for scoring a goal again? But if that was the case, he wouldn't have been scoring so much in Leipzig. But what do you think, Miss? I mean, talking about the responsibility, is he being relying on the other players more? That's why maybe he's getting more assists. And that's why we've seen multiple times that he has a clear chance of scoring goal, right? But he ends up passing it to someone else. Why is that?
Man, look, it's confidence. Maybe, as I said, some of the people in the live chat, look, I've mentioned it from the get-go. I don't want to beat this particular player. Like, it's the first game back. I don't want to beat it. But what we're trying to say here is that we don't want to see similar traits moving into the new season, because these are the traits that needs to change. And as Ishan's saying, in terms of the responsibility, he probably does need to stand up and take responsibility and say, I'm going to bang in, 15 plus goals this season, help out Chelsea, which will essentially help us in the long run in this particular title chase. And Ishan, you're right. Like, it must be the confidence factor, or it must be, I don't know, whether in this particular league, he's finally probably seeing that his skill set needs a lot more development. Maybe the skill set that he had in the Bundesliga, he could get away with it, but maybe in the Premier League, he's not being able to get away with the same sort of skill set. Maybe that's where he needs to improve, because in the Premier League, go on, Ryan.
No, I was just thinking about, I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry there, but Ishan said responsibility. I don't think what Ishan means is work rate, because he has a lot of work rate. What he means responsibility into scoring goals, because as a striker, you need to ask that question, how bad does he want to score each game? Because he seems okay in interviews. People praise his mentality and be like, oh, I love Timo's mentality. He's not bothered about scoring goals once he could contribute to the team. But then there's other strikers like Zlatan, who prides himself in being the score nearly game in, game out. Strikers, their job is to score. It's like a defender saying, well, I don't mind not making tackles because we're still winning as a team and I could, be in a good position. No, a defender's there to tackle, just like a striker's there to score.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's like,
a
you
good
know what I
striker
mean?
wouldn't sleep if he goes out without scoring goals for so long, right? He wouldn't be sleeping well.
Yeah. Spot on, man. He wouldn't be sleeping well. He wouldn't be eating well. He'll be desperate to bang in goals. Look. I can only hope that the next game against Spurs that he comes well. I'm literally praying that Timo Werner has, turns things around. Brent Smith, I like this comment here. If Timo had chose dribbling, it'd be game over. Absolutely right. I think it makes a lot of sense. All right, let's talk about the next player. I think Callum is a good segue. Thank you so much, Brent Smith, for bringing up Callum's name. First of all, we've got over 170 people live. Let's smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to over 100 straight away, guys. We've got enough people to get the likes up to over 100. As I said, cannot stress enough how much it helps out the channel, and it exposes it to far more fans out there. If you guys are enjoying this conversation here, and the player performances and the tactical side of things as well, then let's spread the news out to more people. And if you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. Okay, Ryan, let's talk about Callum. I thought Callum, once again, a very, very solid performance. This time playing on the left wing back position, more or less as a left winger. But yeah, off the ball, he was pretty deep, helping out Rudiger as much as he could, which I liked. I'm starting to like this sort of attitude from Callum, where if you are going to play wing back, you do need to fall back. Whereas on the other side, and let's talk about both the players in tandem because it makes sense for the both wing backs. On the other side, Pulisic, look, it's not like he plays that particular position often, so I'm not going to beat him with that. But you could see that he wasn't at times tracking back, and that's why the balls kept on going behind him, and they were exploiting the space around that particular area. Overall, yeah, Pulisic did make some runs forward. Once again, I don't think I saw too much of him, but I'm just happy that let him just build up the fitness level. I don't want him to get injured. I don't think right wing back is a spot for him at all. He's more suited on the left side or maybe as a right inside forward. As a right wing back, there is that responsibility that Callum showed on the left side. You do need to drop back and you do need to cover the centre backs that's on your flank. But I don't want to beat too much on Pulisic. Callum, Ryan, I thought once again, one-on-one, he was taking the players on. He made some of the players look silly from Arsenal side of things. One-on-one, took them on, made them look silly. A couple of times, I think, nutmegged them. A few times just went around them as well. But the thing about playing on the left wing, even if you beat one guy, Ryan, there's always a second guy. And if you beat the second guy, there's a third guy. You're not in a forward position where you can just beat one guy and you're one-on-one. Ryan, what would you make out of Cho's performance, man? I thought it was pretty good.
I think it's what we've grown to expect from him because he's so talented and he's such a enjoyable player to watch. I feel that, it sucks because he is a model wide winger. He's a model wide winger. And in a team that has attacking midfielders who can play off that wide winger and get to that space which he leaves when he stretches the back four, that would have been wonderful for him to have that around. And as you said, when he beats one player, he has to beat a second and a third.
Yeah.
But think about Man City when there's Sterling. It has Gundogan there. It has De Bruyne there. Then it has the striker there waiting. It's always 3-4 people around him because their midfielders could get into the final third and go in behind or drop between the lines. Thing is, we don't have that. And Callum at wing back, unfortunately, yes, there's a defensive side, but as a wing back, when I think about it, it's not only, getting in behind and taking on players. When I think about a wing back, I think about a next ball player also. And yes, Callum can do those passes, but I think much like Pulisic and Callum, they're in the same boat that they're young guys. They want to prove themselves. They're hungry and they're so ingrained to take on players, this and that, is that sometimes they'll not be too mindful of what's going around too much, and they would have players surrounding them where they would not really see because their first instinct is to take on. And I think that needs to really improve in both Pulisic and Callum if we're going to become an attacking Premier League winning team. It's one thing to be a good team. It's the next thing to have a winger in a Premier League winning team. And I think that, that's why, Ziyech, a lot of people talk about his physicality, this and that, but he's honestly, in his mind, a different class from the rest of our players, because the type of team he played in before was one-touch, systematic attacking team. A thread which is going to come out tomorrow, Ten Hag for top 4 tactics, boom.
Love it.
Yeah, but he has been, and I love to see also, I know I don't want to stray too much from Callum, but I love to see Ruben, how much he integrated with Ziyech, a player who's new, basically kind of new. They didn't play with these players too much, and they had that chemistry. They were moving off each other, and I think that's what I want to see more from Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi. They could add, I want them to be complete players. I don't think they're ready to start in the position they are in right now. If they were wide wingers, we were playing a 4-3-3 with wide wingers, they would be first on my list to start. But inside forwards or wing backs right now, I think there's much more qualities they need to develop.
Oh, 100%, man. You're right. If they're just playing as wingers, they've got the game. But if they want to play in these particular positions where they may play in every now and then, there could be an opportunity, obviously, for Callum to play as a right wing back. There may be even an opportunity for Pulisic at times if there's no Callum or there's Reece, depending on injury and form and whatnot. We have seen Pulisic last season. I believe it was Leeds where Pulisic ended up playing as a right wing back in one of the matches. So you're 100% right, Ryan, that if they are going to play those positions, maybe they do need to build up those traits of that complete player that you need to be, not just attackingly, but even in build-up, because those wing-backs, you've demonstrated many a times in this channel as well, they're so key in the build-up. We've seen so many times Callum have the ball straight from Rudiger, and then, they were trying to create that diamond on the left side and wriggle our way out of it and create something up front. So you're absolutely right, Ryan, that if you are going to play every now and then, which I doubt Pulisic would, but if you are, they do need to have some sort of traits there. But this is a nice segue. Let's go to you, Ishan. Now I want to talk about Ziyech and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. As Ryan said, both worked very well. Let's talk about Ruben and then talk about Ziyech. For me, Ishan, Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked immense. He looked so good, man. Honestly, even defensively, he tracked back off the ball whenever Arsenal looked like they were going to go on a counter. Ruben tracked back and he was with his man. There were a couple of times where he put in a tackle as well, won the ball. But it's with the ball. His blockbuster runs from deep, being press resistant, wriggling himself out of sort of crowded situation and breaking through. That passing will eventually come. I know he has that passing. I've seen his passing ability under Sarri, so it's not like something that we've never seen with Ruben. So that end product will come eventually because he does have that end product. We've seen it under Sarri. But I liked his intensity, man. I really did, and I honestly thought that he would be quite useful for Thomas Tuchel, even as a backup, if that's what he's okay. If he's okay to be as a backup now and then, maybe sometimes he'll get a start. But I liked the look of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What do you think about him, man?
Yeah, comparing his performance in the past, friendly and today, it was just land and sky. The performance, the effort that he put in the 22 yard that he played. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. The intense that he brought, not just on the ball but also off the ball. Off the ball, Chelsea was very, very strong and rigid today. Just to remind you that all the counter transition that we played today, most of the times it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek making those runs and trying to deliver it to the wing. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek was absolutely massive. The thing here with Ruben is if this guy works on his defensive gameplay, that's exactly, we talked in the previous shows as well. If his defensive gameplay is sorted, yes, his passing and his final third gameplay will be sorted once he gets more gaming time and he gets more coaching under Thomas Tuchel. It'll fall into pieces. Let's not worry about that. But from a technical standpoint, if his defensive gameplay actually builds up, he can there is a good chance for him to actually play in one of the two pivots and be one of the very big players who can come up and be a rotation guy and come up in the 60th minute or maybe a 70th minute and actually make a mark. He's big, he's strong, and he can be one of a very good defensive midfielder. So yeah, that I think so Thomas Tuchel is trying to mold him a little bit by little bit into that pivot position. And then, like we've discussed, right, it's that position only where Ruben Loftus-Cheek actually gets to make his mark there, because all the other positions are very much occupied. In fact, it's overflowing with players, those other positions. But then yes, the double pivot, if Ruben Loftus-Cheek actually works on his defensive part, it's going to be very good. And today he was very good and impressive with this defensive part. He was more calm and composed when it was off the ball. He was actually guiding the other players. He was guiding Kovacic to go where he should go, and he was placing himself in
that confidence was oozing.
The confidence was and even in the set pieces, he was there to command the things. It was really good to see a confident Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We all know what this guy can do. Not just offensively but defensively as well. We've seen him in the Sarri season where he flourished exceptionally well. So if this guy actually brings back that flair, I think so it'll be a plus point for Chelsea Football Club, and be very interesting to see how this guy transpires in the next season.
Yeah, man. Ryan, what you make out of Ruben Loftus-Cheek's performance? Obviously, you saw the first half. Very impressive, from my opinion, man. I would really like to have him around the squad. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. There's rumors that maybe he's going to get sent on a loan to Germany. But what do you make about his performance, man?
I think that he looked like his power is getting back to 100% from that huge injury he had. And that was the main part of his play. And Ruben, he's such a useful player because he can score goals. He can get in and around the box. He could be a target man, threat to head goals, and he can make those late runs into the box. He could make those drive-in runs forward.
By the way, there was that late run at the box in the first half where he just didn't connect it well enough to score. But I think there was a ball that was cut back in, whether it was Callum, I think maybe he cut it back in. And literally Ruben was just outside of the box and he took a shot. It just went straight to the keeper.
Yeah. I mean, he has a lot of traits, and we'll talk about that. Tuchel likes dynamic players. Well, he can play anywhere in those central midfield positions or in the front three. He can play there. And I actually want to pull up that I have set up.
Maybe I'll get you to do it then. You do it. Yeah.
Let me just share my screen. Let me see. Chrome
Guys, while we're waiting for Ryan to bring up his tactical board, please smash the like button. Literally just 14 away from 100 likes. Let's get those likes up. You're going to enjoy the demonstration right now because I'm excited what Ryan's about to do.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So you all see on my screen, right?
100.
So if you notice how we defended with our typical sort of back five with our midfield pivot, right? So we kind of defended in a 3-4-1-2 or a 5-2-1-2, right? Like this, right? But I found it was so impressive that even for being here for 5 days training, that this midfield trio alternated between being this pivot and a midfield trio, where it would be a 3-5-2 with Kova as the CDM, Ziyech as the LCM, and Loftus-Cheek as the RCM. And with this, it changed up the tactics a little bit. If you all didn't notice, we didn't usually, when we have a midfield pivot, we aim to build play from the side, creating a diamond like such, right?
Yeah.
But so we would progress the ball through here. But it was different when we set up in the 3-5-2, because all of a sudden we had two options between the lines. We had Ziyech and Loftus-Cheek between the lines. So that meant the ball players such as Rudiger, Kovacic, Chalobah, Zuma, they had free reins to hit the ball between the lines to these two players here.
Yeah.
And that's where we integrated so well, because Ziyech and Loftus-Cheek showed really great understanding of their surroundings. They didn't.
And just to interject as well, just to interject before you carry on as well. By the way, hi, Sadiq, my man, is here. We'll talk about that very soon. But just to interject, Ryan, the two players, Zuma, Rudiger, and even Chalobah at times, they were trying to find those passes, as you said, straight to Ziyech and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And the great thing was, Kovacic followed, like the way you're doing right now. Kovacic followed because they would literally one-touch pass it back to him, so then Kovacic could then find the openings behind them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, like, that's why it's so important to have ball players being in the defensive midfield and the back three, because they would basically interchange and make space for each other. We'd see Chalobah a lot trying to find that brave pass, which I really commend him for, because he's really trying not to only be a sideways player. And that was very nice to see. But yeah, we always had that passing option between the lines here. And what I like about these two players is, even though they have the ability to turn and drive forward, they were always aware of not only the surroundings, their wide players up top, but they were aware of each other, and they really played off each other. When Ziyech received the ball, he always looked to either Loftus-Cheek or the front two here. And same with Loftus-Cheek, when he received the ball, other than driving forward, he always looked to here or his surroundings, and it made for a really fluid counter-attacking football. And back to Loftus-Cheek is that, you know, we based and pride ourselves on counter-pressing, then counter-attacking forward. What a better player to have. Is there any other better player to drive forward than Loftus-Cheek?
Man, he's blockbuster. I know a lot of people praise Kovacic the way he drives, but there is nothing like the beast Ruben when he drives, man. He literally bumps players off his body and opens things up. And I'm just hoping for that end product to come in where he can start putting players through, or where he can drive even very further up at the edge of the box and just scream in a shot. But
I want you to think about the potential this has. Like, if Tuchel really wants to have his wing backs up, obviously not Pulisic, and we'll have Chilwell, but think about the tactical side of having Ziyech, player who can play in the midfield, but he could also play wide. Then I think about this as Jorginho, right? Let's just make Jorginho here, out of respect for this guy with Kante, right?
Yeah.
And then I won't change everybody else because we need to go back to the game. But you know, it produces a lot of options for even a player like Ziyech to drop here. You know, I did that Inter Milan thread where we'd see a player like Barella. He was on the right, but he used to take up that position as a wide midfielder, even though he was a central midfielder, to allow Hakimi, the wing back, to get forward. And this is the same thing just on the left hand side. And then we could see a player like, you know, we could see Jorginho here, and we could see a player like Verna drop in here, and we could see Sergio getting in behind, Havertz getting behind, and all of a sudden, all right, wing back again behind, and we would have
free.
A formidable attack, you know, and that's what having a 3-5-3 with Ziyech does, and having a Jorginho who could be that anchor, not only a great ball player, but somebody who could allow the freedom of Kante and Ziyech. Because today, Kovacic, I didn't want to judge him too much because he was playing this Jorginho role, which is not his role. Kovacic is extremely good at being that ball carrier like Kante or Loftus-Cheek. But it just goes to show that if we could get overlapping wing backs like a Pulisic, we could be able to make the most out of Ziyech. But it then begs the question, Mason Mount, he has to come back into his team somehow.
Absolutely. And just to interject, because I'll go to we'll watch Chelsea very, very soon after this one. Do you remember, Ryan, just literally last week when we got together and we said, how could Ziyech adapt in this formation? And we didn't show on that. And we literally said the way to adapt Ziyech in this formation is you need overlapping wingbacks. You need wingbacks that are just going to drive in, and then Ziyech plays in that either side. He could actually be on the left or the right. So you can flip Kante on that side. You can flip Ziyech on this side. But I think Ziyech being on that side, on the left, is very, very crucial, because one-touch passing with his left foot. We saw literally several times he opened up Werner, and he can even find that diagonal pass to the other winger on the right side. So very, very amazing, man. We will continue talking about this. Well, what Charles, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, I just come by just quickly, just say hi and all that, man, because I'm really impressed with this analysis stuff. I was listening before I joined, actually. So big up to Top 4 Tactics and Ishan and Miz, obviously. So I just came to say hello, man. That's all.
Nice, bro. I love you, man.
Yeah,
love you, man.
Run up the lights, man. Run up the lights, subscribe, send in super chats, all that good stuff. Support this amazing content. You're not going to see anything on my channel just arguing, you know what I mean? So subscribe to the thing, man. That's what I was saying.
Love you, man. Love you. Thank you so much, Worldwide Charles. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just get back to this conversation. As you heard, Worldwide Charles, let's smash the like button. Literally so close to 100 likes. Let's get those likes up. I can see Haji in the live chat as well. He must be buzzing with Tammy's goal. We will talk about Tammy very, very soon. But yeah, Ryan, like, I think you're onto something here, and something we touched on, as I said last week. This whole Ziyech situation, playing in midfield and in this formation that you've set up, oh my God, I think this could be unbelievable. But yes, there is that small factor of where do you fit Mason in this whole situation?
And
you know,
Ryan, you gotta check your DM, and Chilwell and James might be knocking on your doors and saying, "Hey, bro, even I'm there in the squad."
I mean, essentially, Chilwell and Cho shouldn't be on that side, so it should be Chilwell, and then really on Pulisic's side, it could be Cho or it could be Reece James. So,
and I think so. Where Ziyech is, or maybe Loftus-Cheek is, one of the players could go to Mason Mount, right?
But it begs the question, like, would Tuchel decide to take off the handbrakes on his back three? Because I still feel that, the back three is really good, but we don't make full use of it. Like, as I say, we didn't really make use of all this, what could happen, and then this, that could probably happen, like what we talked about last week, and this and that. We don't do that. And I think that for some reason, I feel that would we ever take off the handbrakes and go to a back four? Because this same tactics could work in a back four. If you all will allow me just to do it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, go on, bro. We're loving it, man. Look at what VJ just said. The only channel to have a dedicated analyst right there.
Yeah. Nice. Well, is that VJ you said?
Yeah, VJ Praveen Kumar just said that.
VJ,
the only channel to have.
We appreciate it. I just stole in here, so I'll just talk to VJ while I stole VJ, bro. I hope you're enjoying the show. You're having a good time. And yeah.
But I love that. I love that Caribbean accent, man. It's awesome. I hope the live chat's enjoying this Caribbean accent.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that this same tactics could unfold in a 4-4-2 diamond or a 4-3-1-2 as such. I mean, the tactics would basically be the same. Just remove that third center back, and we allow Mount to get a more prominent role in attacking midfield, where Mount we could always turn back to Mount roaming anywhere on the wing, any wing, dropping deep anywhere. He would have that free role to be where
and you know what? That's not any different to what Mount does now, which we talked about last week as well, where he literally, it looks like he's inside forward, but he's not. He drops deep in midfield. He goes into the wings area. So it wouldn't be any different to what he does now.
And it also brings up a thing that Mason Mount is not only attacking midfielder. Like, how if we had Kai as a AM, we wouldn't want Kai getting down here. Right? But with Mason Mount, he's a central midfielder too, because he's just great at everything. So
yeah, pretty much.
We could alternate our tactics, or we could have even things like this. We could have Ziyech being released from a more wide role. Now we have Werner and Havertz getting to the box. Now then we'd have like Chilwell overlapping. Now Ziyech could have free reign to send balls wherever he wants. You would have a player like Kante or Loftus-Cheek and the other fullback supporting. I know it's a risk you're looking at. Wow, you don't have 2 defenders and 1 DM, but I mean that's how most attacking teams to the back four do it. I mean, you learn to defend. You know what I mean?
And this is the other reason that, Ryan, you said the other week as well, and I kind of agreed. That's probably why we're looking at someone like the profile of Declan Rice, who can play that Marquinhos role. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be true because you would basically have Jorginho. On paper, Jorginho would be, exposed. But then again, we need to think about that for most of Jorginho's career, he played in a 4-3-3 as that role. So he flourished in it in Italy with one of the best players. So
exactly.
If defenders could defend, we could stop thinking about adding more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
if you have a Leonardo Bonucci and Chiellini, then there shouldn't be an issue,
man. But I feel like this is really something. We have the personnel to do a 4-1-3-2, and it's all up to Tuchel if he's going to remove the handbrakes. I think he could do it because he used this formation in Mainz or whatever. He used this formation of a 4-1-3-2, and a lot of managers did. Allegri used it when he had Pogba, Marquinhos, Pirlo, and all those, Vidal. And then also Zidane used it when he had Kroos, Modric, and all those guys, Casemiro, and all of those, and Isco. So a lot of managers use this really good. But the question is, would we? And it would also reduce this strain on Werner to score 25, 26 goals. All of a sudden, you have two midfielders, and if Loftus-Cheek is there, three midfielders who could score goals, along with wing-backs who could send crosses. That's something that we could potentially do instead of having Werner having to score 30 a season.
Yeah, no, man, this has been brilliant, man. That's exactly what I saw in the first half as well. I'm pretty sure Ishan saw that, and obviously, Ryan, you've definitely seen that, and it's something to think about because with Ziyech and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I'm not advocating that this is how it's going to be now. Obviously, Kante will play, Jorginho will play, but this is definitely an option to exploit for next season as well, something to think about where you can use Ziyech and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. All right, let's talk about a few other players now. Ryan, I'm just going to get back to our own screens. Is that all right? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant. Ishan, I'll go to you. Let's talk about a few other players before we go into some final thoughts. Let's talk about Tammy Abraham, man. I mean, he came in, he missed a very clear-cut chance in the beginning. I think, can't remember who it was, Zappacosta maybe. Zappacosta put the ball across him and literally he fluffed it. He really should have banged that shot in. He ends up getting that the winner, which is fantastic. But then he had another opportunity right at the end where he broke through Batshuayi. He went mad at Batshuayi when really I thought, man, what are you getting mad at him for? He was there. But then again, you went for the shot, so you need to finish. So what would you make of his particular performance, man?
I'm not sure if Tammy is trying too hard to impress, or I'm not sure what he's trying to do there. But then, if you'd like to conclude me in one line, I would like to say that we do need a striker, regardless of how many goals Tammy scores, because it's very evident that the role that Thomas Tuchel needs from a striker is not the abilities that which Tammy is putting in front in the pitch. So absolutely, yes, the goal was that the Tammy scored, which he scored was absolutely served in a plate, like just take it away. It was that a whole defensive blunder by Arsenal, but then yes, clinical finish, just to make the winner for us for the day. Big up to that. But then yes, talking about the combination gameplay, I'm not sure whether Batshuayi and Tammy Abraham putting both of these together in same time, I'm not sure if that coordinated really well, because they were not coordinating at all. Right from the time when Batshuayi came and Tammy, these guys were trying to link it up. I don't think so. There, I could find any sort of connection with them. There was no sense of compatibility with each other. Yes, Batshuayi had his own sense of gameplay that he showed, and then also Tammy with his if you just keep Tammy aside from Batshuayi, then he would have taken himself to much better positions to score. But then yes, there were no coordinations whatsoever. I'm not sure what those two guys up front were doing. I mean, big up to him. He's got a goal, and I think so. for the next game as well, he'll get some gaming time, that's for sure, because we've not signed any striker. And also same goes with Batshuayi. We also know that, I don't think so Thomas Tuchel holds any sort of grudges against any players. We've seen Werner miss a lot. We've seen Tammy miss sitters, but then yes, Thomas Tuchel never holds any grudges. Every player is equal to him, and he gives equal chances to everybody, at least at the beginning of the season. So Tammy also would be getting his chances, regardless of all those loan, rumors that we've hearing, since past couple of months regarding Tammy. I think so it'll be best for him to, actually leave and get more gaming time to boost up his confidence. I don't think so he's a bad player. He's a very, very talented player. He can definitely score goals, and he's proven that not just in the Championship, also in the Premier League for a couple of seasons. So definitely Tammy, Tammy actually deserves to get more game time. I'm not saying in Chelsea, maybe not, because, he's not being compatible with
another
the way
club
Thomas Tuchel wants to play. Actually, yes, another club and another system with another manager, with another, different set of players where he can, actually develop and enhance his gameplay. So yeah, that's it about Tammy.
Ryan, look, Armando Broja didn't participate in this particular game. He participated in the development squad, which kind of makes me think what's really happening now with Armando Broja. Perhaps he's going to go on a loan. Can't really see how he will play in the next one, because you're going to have the Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Tammy Abraham again, unless Tammy moves on by that game, which I find it very difficult to see how Tammy moves to a different club within the next 4 days. I mean, crazy things can happen as well. But Ryan, what do you make? Obviously, Giroud has left. Armando Broja probably alone now. Tammy Abraham, I mean, does he cut it for you, my man, or you're okay for this guy to leave and hopefully we sign one of the big dogs out there?
Well, as you're talking about strikers leaving, I know declared is right now conspiracy theory about Haaland coming in as we speak, and he's going to come in a few days and talk about it for 5 minutes. But I think that, if Broja is not in our plans for this season and he's going to develop further, which I think he should, because he has a lot of potential. We saw Ampadu, he didn't get good loan spells and he seized that potential a little bit. I think Broja is in a good position that if he gets a really good spell, like a Mount or how Mount got on his loan, he could come back next season and be there in our squad. With Tammy, honestly, I don't think he's a world-class striker yet. I think there's quite a bit to go. There's a lot of development that needs to go into Tammy. When I think about world-class strikers, I think about them having, like all world-class strikers, no matter how rusty or undeveloped their game is, they have that finishing element, that they are cold-hearted finishers. Like Lukaku, he was rough around the edges, but he was a cold-hearted finisher. So we knew that if he just fixed those rough parts, he would become world-class. With Tammy, we've seen a little improvement on the things that he could fix. We've seen his movement has improved, the way he tracks back has improved, his link-up play to extent is okay, get improving, but he's not a cold-hearted finisher. Yes, he's a really good poacher. We've seen he scored goals along his whole career. He was the highest scorer for Aston Villa before he came for here. But he's not a cold-hearted finisher that would lead a top club to a Premier League. And, that's one thing that worries me. Sometimes that never develops into a player. And I'm not sure if that will develop or not. It's a gamble, and I think that the best thing for Tammy will be to move on, get game time, and be the player he knows he could be on the inside. And with that being said, we let go Giroud. If we're going to let go Broja, we'd be short in that department, and we'd definitely need to see a striker in. And we definitely need to see our wingers perform really good, because if Werner is going to start competing in that striker role, in that number 9 role also, then we would need to see our wingers really start to work more on contributing towards goals. Because we can't have our strikers leaving and we take our winger in Werner, put him into the striker zone to compensate for the strikers leaving. And then we can't have our wingers like Hudson or Pulisic not contributing to goals and scoring 4 goals a season. You know, that just wouldn't cut it for us, especially when our strikers, you know, it would be a big ask to ask them to score 30 a season, even though they probably, you know, they never say never. So with that being said, I think we do really need a strike. And also, before we close, however, we talked about Loftus-Cheek coming into that pivot role, but don't be mistaken. He is an option for Kovacic and Kante because those 3 players play the same role. But we still do not have a player to rotate with Jorginho, who plays as that deep sitting CDM. So that's something. So even though he's an extra body in our pivot, he's not really an extra body that we need to rotate with Jorginho. All it takes is one injury or one bad form, bad spell. So we do need a CDM also. So a striker and CDM 100. And Koundé. Nice.
Yeah, 100% right, man. I mean, that's probably why we're still linked with Tchouaméni. The Rice thing is still going on as well. And we will see what's going on. Because, Thomas Tuchel's not stupid. He knows what's going on. As you said, Ryan, there is options for Kante where Kovacic can come in. And then there is, Ruben Loftus-Cheek who could do a similar thing as well. But there is no option really there for Jorginho and someone like Tchouaméni and Declan Rice. Not the Declan Rice probably won't be able to do the similar things as Jorginho does, but in a different style, I suppose, as Ryan said last week. Having like that Marquinhos sort of role, basically. And Tchouaméni, I believe he's got the ball control ability, the passing ability, fairly down-packed to do that Jorginho role somewhat. He can definitely do that. Cesc Fabregas has said that. He's someone who can play anywhere in midfield. Really, really nice super chat here from Brent Smith. Thank you so much, my man. Just got paid. Why not? You've been killing it, man. Are you doing a watch-along for Tottenham game? The chickens get to see a real trophy. I'll see if I do. I've got some special announcement on that because we're going to do a bit of madness on that particular match, which I'll share right at the end, hopefully very, very soon. So do stick around for that information, Brent. I may not do a watch-along, but there's going to be some other really interesting things around that. Ishan, let's talk about, once again, the main sort of defenders, the Rudigers, Zumas. They look very good. Let's touch a little bit on Zuma. The disrespect he gets is not right, man. He's still a solid defender. Some of the recovery tackles, some of the last-ditch tackles as well. I mean, we have to understand it's his first game. The way he ran was pretty immense. I mean, some of the Chelsea fan base are going after him and saying he's not good. I've always maintained he doesn't fit maybe Thomas Tuchel's style, which is fine. That's why we're after Koundé. But that doesn't mean Zuma is a bad defender. Zuma is a very good defender. If you want to switch in a back four or play in a different style, let's say in a counter-attacking style, he's someone who's very, very quick to recover, as I said. A very good defender in terms of tackling, aerial ability, immense. I mean, West Ham seems to be interested in him, but they slapped a £20 million offer, which I feel like that's utter disrespect, man. That guy is a European champion. I know he didn't feature that much, but he's worth a lot more than that, man. If Declan Rice is going for 100 million, Zuma's, West Ham needs to understand that this guy's got some values. But what do you think about Zuma and Rudiger's performance?
Yeah, first of all, before addressing your question, almost 200 of you guys watching. Smash the like button, guys. Listen, it's been a good day at the office. Chelsea defeated Arsenal 2-1 in a friendly game. It was a friendly game, but it's still Arsenal, so we've defeated them. It's a good day at the office. Please, please, please smash the like button. Let's get the likes to 150 straight away. Now, coming back to your question, miss. The disrespect with Zuma, the way they're slapping 20 million, I mean, come on. Zuma scored more than Declan Rice this season. What are you talking about, man? Being a defender, he scored more than your star midfielder, 100 pound. I mean, come on, man. He scored more. The thing is, listen, Zuma is a good defender. People undermine him because, majority of the times that we played last season, we've played in a back three. And we all know that Zuma is not the best player at the back three, although he's given some decent performances even at those positions as well. because it's the productivity that Thomas Tuchel brings in from every individual. That's another part of the story. But the thing here is Zuma can be more productive in a back four, and we do play in a back three, understandable. But the other teams who really want him, with the likes of maybe a West Ham or Tottenham or Arsenal, let's say, or maybe a Sevilla that we are getting rumors about, they will be playing with the back four majorly, and Zuma will be a very big part of that. He's very rigid, and Ryan would absolutely agree with me that Zuma has been very much clinical when we played a back four against Lampard. We've had that 16 to 17 games unbeaten streak against the oppositions, and that to good oppositions as well. And in the initial stages of last season under Frank Lampard, so Zuma was one of the very, very important part of that defense. And we do forget that, because he's, like you said, he's not been featuring in more Chelsea games, and that's quite understandable. People need to understand that back three might not be the best place for him to play in. There are many features that a defender needs to bring in being a back three. You have to be a proper ball playing defender, and Zuma might not be that best ball playing defender out of all the defenders that we have. Christensen is definitely very good. Thiago Silva is already one of the best that we've seen in the generation. Also Antonio Rudiger, I don't need to speak anything about him. He's been a tanker. He's been such an important player, an important element in our defense the whole season. And even today he played really, really well. The command that he has in his body language is absolutely a pleasure to watch. That the thing that Zuma lacks in a back three is just the ball playing ability that I think he needs to work on more. If he does that, he'll be featuring more, because his aerial ability is totally mad. It's massive the way he dominates air, and it's very difficult to overlook the aerial abilities that he has. So if he'd be a better ball playing defender, he would be featuring more. But he needs to work on that part as well. Yes, Ryan, go ahead.
I feel like there's this misconception, this notion around football Twitter and creators that a back three is the ball playing defenders, whereas a back four, it don't require too much ball playing capabilities. But I think it's just tomato, you know what I mean? Because in a back four, your two fullbacks rarely overlaps at the same time. In a back four, one fullback would overlap while the other one would drop back a little bit to form a slanted back three of some sort, right? So what will happen is that either way, with that slanted back three, that wide CB will have the license to get up and down slightly to find passing angles to hit passes between the lines, even in a back four, similarly to what our LCB and RCB supposed to do right now. So there's this notion that Zuma will be good in a back four. But at the end of the day, it's more about, not about system, it's about philosophy. Zuma in a back one, back two, back three, back four, back six, back eight would not matter, because Tuchel's philosophy is based on ball players from defense hitting it between the lines and in behind. Whereas Mourinho, for instance, he is not based on that. He's about hitting it high. He's about hitting it long. A basic Mourinho old school tactics. Whereas with Lampard, people said Zuma did so good at Lampard, but with Lampard, our centre backs didn't play those passes between the lines or in behind. We did not. That's why we struggled to create so much chances. Yes, our defense probably were decent under Lampard, but when I think about defenders, I think about the first step in our attack. I don't only think about defense. And even under Lampard, the first step in our attack, which was our CBs, were under par, because we did not get those balls between the lines, and then we had to count on Kovacic and everybody to play Xavi-like passes all of a sudden, and that's where the connect was. So no matter what, under this philosophy, we need ball playing centre backs and defensive midfielders if this is going to work.
100% agreement. Go on,
Ryan, on the contrary, don't you think that if any team rather who plays a back three, and just like you said, Chelsea Football Club, like especially Thomas Tuchel likes to build the ball from the back, from his defense line, and then move forward with the attackers and the wingers, or the attacking tens that we say, moving forward. We like to actually build from the back, and when we actually do that, when we're in the verge of building play from the back and then progressing in forward, there seldom we see that our defenders are in a lot of pressure to release the ball quickly. And maybe that's where Zuma might not be the best player to be in that place. We know that there are 3 defenders being there at the place where you could make those horizontal passes to and fro. But isn't it that the pressurized gameplay that Chelsea try to absorb in them, so that they have a better transition forward? Zuma can be a little bit more vulnerable there, because the pressure is coming on constantly to you.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, because we are not a possession based team. We do not dominate possession, 60% possession. We do not attack low blocks like that. So when you're playing against a low block, the defenders would have time on the ball to pick those passes. What you're saying is that we like to absorb pressure so we could attack a high line and get Verna in behind. So you're right. There's extra pressure on our back three as opposed to other back threes or back fours. So there's extra need for a ball playing centre back in this case, because we absorb pressure. So we need to be, we need our centre backs not only to be good passers to create chances, but also to be press resistant, because we are attracting the press. So that's a good point.
Very, very good point, Ishan and Ryan. It's so true. We do attract the opposition. I think someone said it in the live chat that we do bait the Ryan. I'm just gonna put you on mute, man.
Yo, that's not my dog. That is not from me.
Whose dog is that? Or maybe that's Ishan.
That is my neighbor's dog.
That was Ishan. Sorry about that, Ryan. Ishan, put you on mute, bro. But someone did mention in the live chat earlier that Chelsea baits the teams in and then hits them hard. So this is a particular philosophy, a particular style. I've seen it under Sarri as well, where Sarri, I distinctly remember against City, we would literally suck City in, and then the quick diagonal balls long to find the wingers up top, and then there was just madness from there on. So in that situation, as the boys said, those defenders better be very good at soaking up pressure, press resistant, and being very, very good on the ball. Very important. So true. All right, let's slowly start wrapping things up. Overall, look, I think Mendy had a very good game as a goalkeeper. Once again, very, very commanding. Few notable players that gave me good sort of hope as well. Dejan Sterling in the second half, I thought he had a very, very good performance for the little time that he played. I could put him down as a backup. I don't know whether he's going to get that backup spot with Koundé coming in as well, but I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of Dejan Sterling. I think he played very well. Shout out to Trevor Chalobah as well. Trevor Chalobah played really well in that first half and a little bit in the second half, playing in the center of the 3 CBs. I thought he did a very decent job. Ross Barkley, I think, lights out. Lights out for Ross Barkley. The whole ideology that, pre-season Ross Barkley is a world-class player, that is not the case anymore. It's an absolute myth. He needs to get going. Glad Kante got some minutes, but obviously he's a bit off pace, but that's very understandable. And I think moving on, we're going to see some of these players probably play less and less. Drinkwater, all right, sort of game time. He got obviously not enough, but didn't really show me anything impressive. But then again, makes me think, was that just a one-off against Bournemouth, or was Bournemouth the level for him? Maybe that's the level at the moment for him, and perhaps a loan for someone like Drinkwater. But overall, I thought it was a solid turnout for a preseason. Very intense preseason game. And I can't wait for the Tottenham game. Just some quick thoughts from both of you guys before I make some final announcement. Ryan, what do you think, man? Just overall to wrap things up.
I think that it's a good showing today. We'll take that momentum with us as we approach the Super Cup in August 11th, is it? So we'll keep that. We'll keep that momentum, and I'm happy to see the intensity in our team today, and hopefully you can keep on building on that.
Brilliant. Ishan, what's your final take on this particular game?
Yeah, oh man, Tottenham fans, you've lost the game, man. Come on.
Tottenham fans, stop barking,
man. Today's game, it was quite highly intensified, and I'm expecting that again in the game against Tottenham. Yes, it'll be a special day. We're gonna have a UCL Cup, get a round over in the city. So it's going to be a very special day for us Chelsea fans. Looking forward to the game. Very excited to see which players start. I'm expecting again maybe Kante gets some more minutes. It'll be very interesting to see if Armando Broja plays. If he gets some more game time there as well, because it'll be important to see how he it brings an impact in the team when he's playing against Tottenham. A team who's at least not like some Bournemouth or some the other friendlies that we've played against. There will be some sort of competition and some sort of intensity from their side as well. So it'll be very interesting to see if Broja plays there and what kind of speciality that he brings in the table. It'll be very interesting to see Hakim Ziyech, what kind of quality that he brings in, because I'm seeing a lot of quality this man is bringing in each and every game. He might not be scoring, and that's the only point that is being disappointed that he didn't score, but he's had an exceptional game, and he had an exceptional game in the past friendlies as well. So we are very much excited to see. There are lots of players to watch in the next friendly as well.
100%. I'm very, very happy so far with the turnout in the preseason, and I'm just like you, Sean and Ryan, really excited to see where how these players continue on in this preseason in the next match against Spurs, and then the very big one in the Super Cup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some final announcement before I do that. So we still got over 190 people live. Let's get those likes up, guys. As I always say, cannot stress enough how much the likes helps out the particular show and the channel. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We are on the way now for 7,000 subscribers. So let's get those likes up, well over 150 while you guys are here. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So final announcement. For the Spurs game, the boys that are part of this particular show for the review, which is Jonathan and Taryn, this channel has sponsored them 2 tickets, and they are going to go to the match, and we are going to see live the parade on this particular channel. Wow. Hopefully we're gonna do this, get that organized. So anyone who's not able to see it, the parade and whatnot, whether because you're streaming or you haven't paid the money, I don't know whether Chelsea Fifth Stand app might show that. I'm not really sure, but hopefully we will try our level best to bring the parade on this particular channel, because the boys are going to be there. They're going to set it up with their video, the phones and whatnot, and everything. And hopefully I'll be here as well, and we'll be commentating and hosting the whole thing. So that's one thing. We'll also hopefully we'll have a vlog for that particular whole day, as the boys will be going to the stadium. We'll hopefully see some players before the match in the training session in the stadiums, and the whole sort of feel of that particular day. So there'll be a vlog that'll come after. And then post-match, this is why I think I probably won't do a watch-along, because I think I'll just be too tired doing a watch-along. Post-match, the lads, myself, and I'm happy to have these boys come on as well in the review, where those boys, Taryn and Jonathan, will be doing the review from the stadium. Hopefully still the players in the background, and we'll obviously be here, and you guys hopefully can comment as well. That'll be very, very exciting. That whole particular match. Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable, man. Let's
give an applause to the other side of the court. Yeah, wow. We're going to have a treat. We're going to have a treat.
It's going to be madness. You guys are going to love it, man. I just hope that it does go into plan that way. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Do look out for a stream tomorrow, same time, sort of 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. Maybe Ishan will be back again. We might do some madness with the transfer news again. And yeah, Ryan and I, we're going to continue doing madness, tactical analysis. That's going to happen every now and then. You'll see that on the channel. As you saw, the craziness he provided today, literally we had a few people saying the only channel in Chelsea YouTube content sort of situation the only channel that actually has a dedicated analyst, and that's Ryan, Top 4 Tactics. Guys, check out both Ryan and Ishan's socials in the description. Literally, there's a link. Click on the link. It will take you to their pages. Follow them, support their work. And that's all I've got to say. Until next time, everyone, let's get those likes up, guys. You're still here, 180 of you guys. Let's get those likes up and subscribe as well. See ya.